As we know, SANHS, Somerset Archaeological and Natural History Society, was founded in 1849, and we started collecting things, both for the library and our museum collections, very shortly thereafter. The library is based on a number of pre-existing collections, one of which came from the consult's notes, Taunton and Somerset Institution. And there were various benefactors, one of the main ones being Charles Tite, who was a local antiquarian, archivist, historian, general Somerset supporter. The Tite collection, or I should say collections, are Somerset based. And one of the things I believe he was trying to do was have materials for a history of Somerset as such. But the library contains a number of different forms of literature. We have books, obviously, monographs. We have journals. We have pictures of various kinds. And SANHS also has archives. Everything is stored here in strong rooms at Somerset Heritage Centre. These are environmentally controlled, air-conditioned, as it's in perfect conditions for looking after the materials that we have. The SANHS collections are in a strong room with a number of other items in it, and obviously the security has to be the same for the whole strong room. Unfortunately, we can't say you will be able to just browse SANHS collections. And this is one of the reasons why we have to ask you to come to the Heritage Centre to borrow things and have the items brought to you from the strong rooms. We cannot, unfortunately, let the public into the strong rooms.
So we're here in Strong Room B, which is where the entirety of the Society's library collections are stored. And it's worth talking about security. There are 3 levels of security in a strong room. The first is physical security. Every time a member of staff goes into a strong room, we have to swipe our card, and that means that only the right people can get into the strong room, because 80% of what we hold in these strong rooms does not belong to us. It's still owned by outside organisations or individuals, or even by yourselves. These books that we're talking about here are still your property as a society. The next level is environmental. We have a gas suppression system to ward off fire, and we also have disaster procedures in place in case we have any kind of water incursion. The third type of security is data security. And this comes to a topic which I know is very close to a lot of SANHS members' hearts, about why you can't browse the collections where they are on the shelves. I know Sue has touched on this, but it's worth going into some detail. Where I'm standing at the moment, I'm right next to the Wells Asylum records. So these are admission and discharge records for the, as it was then, the lunatic asylum on Mendip. These records move from the middle of the 19th century to the middle of the 20th century. They go well up into the 1950s, and they have personal details and case records, including photographs, about people who are residents of the asylum. Now, our job as librarians and as archivists is not just to protect the physical, the book, the object, it's also to protect the information contained in it. The only people who have a right to see what is contained in these volumes is the person that it's about. And unfortunately, there is nowhere in the Heritage Centre, nowhere in all of our 5 huge strong rooms, where there isn't already material like this. And that's why we can't allow unfettered access to our strong rooms.
One of the main things we have is runs of journals, and we do, like true librarians, if we have a journal, we try to have all of it, and we keep it going. And we have been acquiring journals, more or less, since the library was founded, when SANHS started in the 1850s. And we acquire them by purchase, by donation, and by exchange with other similar institutions, societies, and so forth. As we know, SANHS publishes its own annual proceedings, an academic journal, and this is exchanged for similar journals from similar societies. And they are all, this is part of our run of journals.